Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for January 3, 2023, the Value of Gray edition. And this story, near and dear to my heart, comes to us from Reuters, as boardrooms will discover the value of gray hair again in 2023. I will leave it to your imagination why I think that is important for my own personal professional growth, but it's going to be interesting to see where boards of directors go from the compliance perspective. And as the compliance profession has matured over the past 15 to 20 years, we have seen lots of folks come through our profession and now are to the point where they do have gray hair and they can sit on boards of directors. So I, for one, welcome having more gray hair on boards. Hopefully if you're at that point of your career, you may as well, but also think about what it means for the compliance function. Next up from Bloomberg, crypto, and a question from the savings and loan crisis reappeared in this article by Lionel Laurent, which was, quote, "Where were the lawyers and accountants," end quote, around crypto, particularly around FTX. FTX just seems to have been a complete accounting and legal disaster. I think there was nearly 200 separate entities involved, and I'm not sure if they had a general counsel or who was looking at all of this, but there really needs to be some accountability for gatekeepers, and this article drives that message home. Next up from the Financial Times, a really troubling article by Bernie Marcus, one of the co-founders of Home Depot, and he just lays into today's workers and says that no one basically wants to work anymore. It is, quote, "Nobody works, nobody gives a damn." And I cannot believe someone as smart as this would say something this absolutely inane. But when you start telling people they don't want to work, you're going to lose your audience. And now he's 93, so I guess you would call him from the greatest generation. He's certainly far beyond a boomer. But that kind of attitude simply has to change. And when you have idiots saying things like that, and of course, it has fallen back on Home Depot, who had to release a statement saying that he hasn't been with the company and hasn't worked for us for 20 years, you can immediately see what kind of damage can be brought. And our final story is that Congress actually did something for pregnant workers and nursing mothers. Amazing that Congress can do anything. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.